It was almost 12:30, and Gao Tu was on his way. Shen Wenlang's heart pounded like a drumstick, each beat echoing his growing anticipation. He felt a mix of excitement and anxiety. He was getting closer and closer to what could be a life-changing discovery. He had always thought Gao Tu was just an inconspicuous beta, someone easy to overlook. But the truth was startling. Gao Tu wasn't merely a beta, he was an omega. And an omega who could get pregnant. That alone was extraordinary. But the shock didn't stop there. Gao Tu was carrying a child with a wealthy alpha. Shen Wenlang couldn't help but marvel at the situation. Why hadn't he realized before that this seemingly clumsy, timid rabbit could be the goose that laid golden eggs? All of this was astonishing, yet nothing was confirmed. Shen Wenlang had to proceed carefully. The golden opportunity was before him, but one wrong move could send it flying away like a startled duck. Meanwhile, Shen Wenlang's thoughts were interrupted by the presence of Gao Tu's father, Gao Ming. Shen Wenlang had a poor impression of the man. His dress and manners were far from proper. Yet, despite having arranged a meeting with Gao Tu at 12:30, Gao Ming had insisted Shen Wenlang wait since 11:30. Did he think Shen Wenlang's patience had no limit? And then came the most infuriating part. As the host, Gao Ming abruptly left the table half an hour before the meeting, claiming he had something to attend to. "Boss Shen, please sit down first. I'll be there soon," Gao Ming had said. But Shen Wenlang, already offended, frowned deeply. If this man weren't Gao Tu's father, Shen Wenlang might have lashed out. But he swallowed his anger and waited, though each second felt like an eternity. Gao Tu had better not be late, not even by a minute. Shen Wenlang's patience was already stretched thin. He checked his phone again, scrolling through the chat history with Gao Tu. He had sent a message half an hour ago, yet there had been no response. Gao Tu was like a stone tossed into a dark abyss, vanished, unreachable, unreachable. Shen Wenlang's eyes flicked to Gao Tu's WeChat moments. Nothing had been posted in 3 days, though Gao Tu rarely shared personal updates anyway. The most recent post was from their fishing trip on Taihu Lake. Shen Wenlang recalled the day vividly. Gao Tu had been completely inept at fishing, standing patiently in the middle of the lake and catching nothing. Shen Wenlang had eventually stepped in, teaching him how to cast the bait, tie the float, and reel in the line. Gao Tu had been nervous, stiffly following Shen Wenlang's hands as they guided his. Yet Shen Wenlang's expertise paid off. Soon, Gao Tu caught his first fish. Overjoyed, he posted a short, awkward message on WeChat Moments. "Thank you, Mr. Shen." Though incoherent, Shen Wenlang had given it a thumbs up. Gao Tu's clumsiness was endearing, and he couldn't help feeling protective. Shen Wenlang scrolled through Gao Tu's circle of friends, noting how sparse it was. Mostly company updates and forwarded posts, lacking personal content. He grew impatient and began liking every post from Gao Tu's first upload to the latest, over 30 likes in a matter of minutes. Meanwhile, Gao Tu had no idea. He woke up early that morning, but darkness greeted him immediately. His body ached, his head swam, and nausea made him want to retch. He had to lie down for a while before he could summon the strength to sit up. If every omega experienced early pregnancy like this, the world's population would surely plummet. Despite the discomfort, Gao Tu smiled faintly, trying to keep his spirits up. After washing up and quickly eating breakfast, he sat before his computer to start translating a business document. The pay was modest, thanks to the rise of AI translation tools, but it was enough for now. Gao Tu had some savings, and the rent for his temporary apartment, provided by an old neighbor, was far below market rates. He remembered the encounter with an old friend, a neighbor from his childhood. The alpha had greeted him with warmth and enthusiasm, dimples flashing as he smiled. "Little rabbit, are you going home too?" Gao Qing, his sister, stood nearby, wary of the stranger. "Gao Qing," she replied, politely but cautiously. "Excuse me, who are you? How do you know my brother?" The alpha laughed, his voice friendly and familiar. "I recognized you immediately. You haven't changed a bit since childhood." "I've known your brother for years. He's just as wonderful as ever." Gao Qing remained guarded. Unlike her brother, she didn't feel an instant connection with this overly enthusiastic alpha. Her caution was evident, though she maintained politeness. Back in the restaurant, Shen Wenling's mind drifted from frustration at Gao Ming to concern for Gao Tu. He remembered the young Omega's quiet determination, his diligent work ethic, and the peculiar charm that made Shen Wenling's heart ache without reason. "Come on, Gao Tu," he muttered under his breath. "Don't make me wait too long." 12:30 arrived. Shen Wenling's patience had run thin. He stood up, brushing imaginary dust from his suit, eyes scanning the entrance. Every person who passed by seemed like they might be Gao Tu. Every moment stretched endlessly. Finally, he saw him. Gao Tu. Small and delicate, yet with a determined stride. Shen Wenling felt a rush of relief mixed with the familiar flutter that always appeared when Gao Tu was near. "About time," Shen Wenling murmured, though not harshly. There was just a hint of reprimand in his tone. Gao Tu gave a shy smile. I'm sorry for being late." His voice was soft, barely above a whisper. Shen Wenling studied him, noting the pale hue of his skin, the subtle tremor in his hand, signs of the early pregnancy he hadn't even realized until now. His protective instincts flared. "Sit," Shen Wenling said gently, waving toward the chair opposite him. He softened his tone, but the message was clear. He would not tolerate unnecessary delays. Gao Tu settled into the seat, trying to appear composed. He glanced at Shen Wenling nervously. I wasn't sure if I could come today," he admitted, his fingers fiddling with the edge of the table. Shen Wenling's eyes softened. "You're here now. That's what matters." As they talked, Shen Wenling's mind wandered to the golden opportunity that lay before him. Gao Tu wasn't just an Omega, and not just any Omega. He carried the child of a wealthy alpha. Shen Wenling needed to tread carefully. He couldn't risk losing what might be the chance of a lifetime. Meanwhile, Gao Tu, oblivious to the storm of calculations swirling around him, tried to focus on his own concerns, staying healthy, finishing his translation work, and navigating this unfamiliar city. He hadn't considered that someone like Shen Wenling might take such a keen interest in him, or that his future could suddenly become so entangled with another's ambitions. Time passed slowly. Each second waited with expectation. Shen Wenling found himself alternating between careful observation and subtle interrogation, gauging Gao Tu's temperament, his responses, and his reactions. Every glance, every word was a puzzle piece, revealing more about the young Omega sitting across from him. Shen Wenling noticed the faint tremor in Gao Tu's hands. He leaned slightly forward, his tone softening. "Are you feeling unwell?" Gao Tu hesitated, then nodded. "A little, yes, it's nothing serious." Shen Wenling studied him for a moment longer, then let the question drop. He didn't press, but the concern in his eyes lingered. Finally, the meeting drew to a close. Gao Tu rose slowly, exhaustion evident in his posture. Shen Wenling stood as well, offering a gentle nod of approval. "You did well today," Shen Wenling said quietly. "Rest when you can. There will be other meetings, other challenges, but you handled this one admirably." Gao Tu's lips curved into a small, tired smile. "Thank you, Mr. Shen. I'll try my best." Shen Wenling watched him leave, feeling a mixture of relief, anticipation, and protective instinct. The young Omega had endured so much, yet he carried himself with dignity and perseverance. Shen Wenling knew then that this was just the beginning. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss the next episode. Drop a comment below to share your thoughts. Who's your favorite character so far?